Welcome to my podcast. It's going to be okay. I am here with Genesis Soul. She is another wonderful female comedian that I met through comedy in LA. She has a really cool weekly. No, it's a weekly. It's a weekly open mic where she also hosts her own shows. I think they're monthly, right? Yes, monthly. Yep. Mm-hmm. I when I came to LA, that's when I started doing comedy in LA, I started practicing in your room, you know, and. Yeah, I remember a lot of the, it's very supportive. It's very good atmosphere for women. You know, we don't have to be bombarded by dick jokes.
Oh, God. I mean, unless, you know.
Unless that's what you like.
Look, if you like dick jokes as a woman, that's totally fine. We did recently have a comic come, and she wore a strap-on the whole time. And I just was like, okay, that's not necessarily what I signed up for. Yeah. But also... Sure, do what you have to do.
Yeah. As long, you know, I mean, if it's a important prop, you know, we got to make a stance as women in comedy.
We can also make dicks funny.
Yeah, we can also wear dicks too on stage.
It was so random. It was just like she referred to it once, and otherwise she just wore it like normal, and I was like. So we're not gonna talk. No, okay.
I mean, was it what? Okay, was her set even good though? Like, did it come in handy? Was it part of the set? Did she even go into it? It wasn't even addressed.
In case they ever see this, I will be very diplomatic in my answer and just say it was unique.
Okay.
And Witty Titties is a place for any kind of woman to express whatever they need to express.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As long as it wasn't a gun, as long as it wasn't a real gun.
I know. It's like, it was fine.
Yeah. You know, do you know what that kind of reminds me of? I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Wait. When you say gun, do you mean like a strap-on gun?
Yeah.
No. I mean like a strap-on penis.
Yeah, that's what I meant too.
Good.
Like, as long as it wasn't
just like making sure. Yeah. Oh my God.
As long as it wasn't a real
fake
gun.
Penis, I'll take any day over a real penis.
over an armed penis.
Oh, yes. Yeah, a dick carrying another dick.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Oh, yeah. We gotta. We're in the west side. We can say that.
Yeah, we can say that. We should be fine.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. I meant we're in the Wild West now. You know, we should be able to say these things.
Of course.
Yeah. So I don't know how that rolled into. I mean, yeah. Well, you know what? I am all for. I'm all for big dicks, saving, big dick lives.
Yes.
Big dick lives matter. You know, especially the plastic ones, I think.
Look, they come in handy. They will never let you down.
No.
The only time they'll let you down is if the battery dies. That's it.
Unless it's not battery operated. Yeah. Eco-friendly dicks.
Yes. I mean, you know, sustainable dicks, biodegradable. That's what it was.
I like how we got into this after we talked about witty titties.
I know. You know? I'm like, why are we talking about penises?
No, we're talking about dangly dicks. Dangly dicks. What?
Damn the patriarchy.
All right. Anyway,
stop stealing our conversation.
Patriarchy. Always got to go in there with their big dick energy. I don't know. Anyway, Genesis. I'm glad you're here today. We also know that this is part mental health. So, you know, talking about big dicks is mental health. It's mentally stimulating sometimes, you know.
It really is. I feel like I feel like Witty Titties is so interesting because yes, it's an open mic, yes, it's a show and all these other things, but mostly I feel like it's just like a little woman like fight club where we all just like go in and we talk about what the fuck is going on.
You know, when we commiserate through misery, it's called a support group.
No, it's 100%. It is a support group. It's just not anonymous.
Like, it's better. You know what? It's better than one of those, you know, knitting clubs that they used to have a long time ago. You know, like the one grandma used to go to.
Because we all need friends.
We just get together and bitch about everything.
Oh, it's so nice. It's like every woman gets 5 minutes to just be like, let me fucking tell you what. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Hitting, oh my God, I'm just hitting all the mics. I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool. I mean, if anything, you know, we'll pause it and like refix. But you know what? We'll roll with the punches because that's what we're here for. Punches. Yeah, we're women. We could roll with the punches. You know.
Can I just say I love holding my emotional support in Hamburger.
Oh yeah.
Can we talk about all your fabulous squishmallows?
Yes.
Is that a Hammerhead one?
Yes. His name is.
I love him. What's his name?
His name is Hakeem. That's the name they gave him. I did not do that.
Oh, Hakeem is gay, and I love that. I love that so much.
I like his shape. Like, it's beautiful. There's a whole thing.
It's giving pride, and I love that. Hakeem, I don't want to assume. I don't know how you identify, but also I love.
He identifies as love.
Aww, I love you, Hakeem. Oh, this is so cute. Wait, okay, what do you name him? If it's not Hakeem, like what would you name?
I don't know. I haven't come up with a name for him. No. I think he's just. They're all beautiful.
I low-key love Hakeem. Like you would not expect this guy to just be like, "Yo, what's up? I'm Hakeem." Like, check it. You know, business in the front, party in the back. I like that. I really like you.
Yeah,
Hakeem.
My sister bought it. They every time they go to the store, they remember that if they see that space, if they see this space right here, this guy.
I like that my hamburger is happy because I feel bad because it's about to be eaten, right? Like it's just
kind of, yeah. I have a tinier one in the car. Do you really? Yeah, I carry I always have an available squish with me. I have keychains and because it helps with my because when I'm going through something, it helps ground me when I'm outside.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet. I wish I had a squishmallow around when I had a panic attack. I would just be
it's a good grounding technique, I think. Because this guy, I usually press his little buttons,
because it's different textures.
Yeah, they're different textures. That's exactly what I go for when I'm searching for these guys. I look for their different, tactileness. They have, something different features.
That makes so much sense. Yeah. I like that a lot. Okay, so when you're going through stuff, are you more besides textile, are you I need to see what's happening and I need to acknowledge, does that help you at all?
Well, it kind of depends, if the stressor, I don't like to say trigger because it's usually not something that is visual, but if the stressor is visual, then I'll have to close my eyes so I can reframe my mind. But usually it just works, whatever works, these guys, you see, he's got
he's got the little patches. That's cute. Yeah. No, and I like this is felt and it's a different texture.
Yeah.
Because I've only used kind of start describing things. If I'm going through something, then I'm okay, that couch is green and it looks like this, and I start acknowledging what is around me to help try to ground myself.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you mentioned briefly that you have ADHD or
I got ADHD, baby. I got anxiety. I got a little bit of depression.
Hell yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just like an accessory. You're
I know. I'm just God, do you have depression?
Yes.
It is fall's hottest accessory.
Yeah, exactly. I like to match depression with my outfits,
It's cute. It's giving depression.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. This isn't Wednesday Addams. This is depression, bitch.
I know.
Okay?
It's so funny how Wednesday Addams is so popular right now because of the show.
Yeah.
Because I'll see little girls and I'm like, oh my God, that's so Wednesday. And it's a black piece of clothing.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's all these little baby goths that are being born, and I'm I love this.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm goth, but a lot of people say that. It's okay. So this is we're dissecting this now.
Let's go. Let's get in it. So let's go.
Okay. So the reason why I started wearing all black was because it made my life easier.
Yes.
Because I don't have to separate my clothes and do multiple loads.
Yeah, it's one less decision.
Exactly.
It totally makes sense.
Exactly.
Because I don't know about you, but I got decision fatigue.
Wait, I've never heard of this.
You don't know decision fatigue?
No.
Okay, so it's very it's common with ADHD, but also so there's been plenty of studies where people have found that the more decisions someone has, the more unhappy they are.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's why I'm
Wow.
like, I think when you compare current society, we have nothing but decisions and limited options. And we're so goddamn miserable.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, are you saying, well, I'm not saying that everybody has ADHD.
No.
Yeah, no. But that logic does make sense.
I think it applies even if you don't have ADHD. For me, it's like, so with ADHD, I also have I have a hard time with like executive functions. Like I have a hard time.
I know that. I know what that's like. Yeah.
So a lot of times when it's just like, in addition to that, if it's one more thing I have to decide or one more thing I have to think about, like clothes, it's just I get overwhelmed and then I'm like, that's it, I'm not going.
Yeah. And then just everything goes out of the room and you're just like, you know what, your mind, and then it just
we're done. We're done here.
Yeah.
We're done here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a sad nap. Like yeah. It's
I don't know. I don't think some people like understand how like quickly your mind will like jump in the little pitfalls and you're like, why am I here?
Oh yeah. No, the amount of times that I have missed an event I really wanted to go to. Like I will never stop kicking myself. When Joan Jett was here, she was playing at the Hollywood Bowl with Heart and Elle King was opening. And I love all three of them so much. And I was like, I'm going to this concert. And I was going to go. And then I just felt sad that day. I just was sad. And then I was like, and then I have to wear things and I have to drive a place. And then I'm just not going to go. And then I didn't go. And ever since then, I was like, why the fuck? Like, when is that ever going to happen again? Like, three of your favorite artists at the Hollywood Bowl. Like, and I missed it because I was like, meh. Like, it's so, and I'm like trivializing it, but it is also like, man, like my brain did not let me go do something I wanted to do. Like me, myself, Genesis, the person, knew I wanted to go, and then my brain didn't let me. And it's sad to think about, but it is also just kind of like, well, it's I learn, and I sometimes when I'm like, okay, if it's an event like I really want to go, I force myself to like push through the bullshit and just be like, just go ugly, just look ugly, just look fucking ugly, but be there.
Just go ugly.
Just go ugly.
I like that. I fucking love that. Yeah. I don't know how many times I wish I would have just gone ugly somewhere. Yeah.
Because then that thing too of just like, oh my god, people are watching, everyone's gonna be so cute, especially like a concert or something. Yeah. Like it can really sneak up.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of like my routines though, because I'm like I have schizophrenia, so like a lot of my like roadblocks are tied to like kind of feelings of impending doom, but for like no reason, and then I'll like get paranoid and so for me, because I can read patterns, and so for me, I'm like thinking, oh, I can predict what's gonna happen, you know, and then I'll get into these thought processes where I'm like, well, what if I prevent that? And so I'm thinking these routines are gonna help me prevent the end of the world, and it doesn't, you know, and then I'm disappointed by whatever it is that my mind was creating, like this really weird narrative that my mind was creating, and then I start feeling, you know, like you, where I'm like depressed, where like I could have done more, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like that, and then we get into our own cycle of our own bullshit of like, see, you didn't go to the thing because you suck and your brain's broken. And then
You think because your brain's broken, the rest of you is broken, but it's not. I think what we have to do is we just kind of like go with that rhythm, you know, that rhythm of stupidity. It's not like for us, we know it's stupid because we've been dealing with it for so long.
Yeah.
But other people, they're like, what's going on, you know? And
I don't like, I only got diagnosed. I mean, technically, I guess I'm not even like officially diagnosed, but like multiple doctors have like not officially diagnosed me, but they're like, yeah, pretty sure you have it.
Is this through therapy?
Through therapy,
okay,
or, like,
all right.
different places, right? But it took me so long, and I was dealing with it so long, and I always thought I was normal, right? Like, so when you go through it being like, well, I'm a normal person, I'm not diagnosed with anything, normal, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It adds an extra amount of like, there was so much frustration. So I think there was like a lot of like liberty and like knowing that I had a name to what I was feeling.
Yeah.
But my thing for saying that is just like, it was really hard for me to realize that like not everyone thinks the way that we do. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, you could just like, I found out, like, I saw a video on TikTok where some people just don't have inner monologues.
I've heard of that.
What the fuck is that?
I've heard
what
of that.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like
exactly.
The thoughts,
you know what?
there?
Let me tell you something.
What is that?
Let me tell you what that is. It's for every schizophrenic who hoarded all of their voices.
Leave some voices for the rest of us.
I know. I have somebody else's internal monologue in my head, and it should have been placed magically in someone else's. I'm sorry.
Straight up, I was like, my mind was so like, what do you mean? Like, all I do is talk to myself.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sure all you do is talk to yourself.
Yeah, I do.
And like,
I argue with myself too.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's just like, what do you mean? Like, you just
don't hear anything. Like,
what is in there?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you think? It was. To this day, I cannot.
You know, like, who's talking to you before you sleep? You know.
Where's the reel of every embarrassing thing you've ever done, starting from middle school and onward?
Yeah.
Like,
who's shaming you?
Yeah. Why isn't your mom's? Is your mom's head not in the back of your?
Exactly.
Like, what? Ugh, oh my god.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. I've heard of that too, and I laughed at that. I was like, there are people that actually live calm lives.
Like, it's quiet. It's so quiet in their heads. Who
I don't
know. Who is that?
They're blessed. They're blessed.
Yeah. I mean, I guess sometimes, like, do you ever think, like, if you didn't hear anything, like, would you feel lonely, or would you be like, I miss those guys?
You know what? I kind of would. Yeah. Because I mean, the funny thing is like, recently my family went on vacation and I didn't even know they were gone.
Girl, wait. Let me tell you. I don't know if this is a Latina thing. I don't know what it is, but like, my parents, like, straight up, like, had a dog and then did not have a dog in a span of a few months, and then I didn't find out until later. It's like, oh, you didn't know about the dog? I was like, what dog? We got a dog.
You didn't tell me? You didn't communicate this with me?
Like, literally, it was just like, they found a dog and then they had it for a few months and then they adopted it out. And I was like, not one photo, not like a heads up. Like, this happens all the time. Like, crazy shit will happen and then I'll find out like a year later.
You'll find
I'm
like 5
I'm sorry,
years later.
the FBI were here? Like, it was wild.
I think that might be exclusively a Latino thing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, sorry.
No, it's good. That's a good segue. I like that. That's a good segue.
But what is that? Like,
I don't know. You know,
months?
okay. So yeah, but this is how I found out that they were gone. And and that's funny that you mentioned dog, because we do have a dog.
Okay.
And I usually hear barking, because that's the only thing that pisses me off when I'm at home is the dog is constantly barking.
Got
you know,
it.
and my sister, she's like, she compares me to Son of Sam. She's like, I'm sorry.
As one does.
She's like, every time we watch that movie, The Summer of Sam, you know, with John Leguizamo, every time we watch that movie and that guy's like losing his shit, she's like, look, he's losing his shit because the dog is barking. That's you right there.
Oh, that's so funny.
But
okay,
it's true. It's true. Yeah. It's like one of those things. It's a stressor for me, you know, the noise, because it adds to like my internal monologue.
Exactly. You're like, I have so much going on in here.
Yeah, and I have
you guys have nothing.
Exactly. And they're like, why do you get pissed off at the dog so much? I'm like, you don't understand.
That's so funny. Okay, so then the dog.
So all I know is they were gone for a few days, and I was like happier, and I was like, what's going on, you know?
I'm sorry. God, I relate so hard to this. It's just like, my family hasn't been around in a few days, but I feel so good.
Like, yeah, no, I didn't even know they were gone. I just noticed I was happier, you know? And then I start realizing, oh, maybe it's the dog. And then I go out, the dog's not there. And then I start send in the group chat. I'm like, hey, what happened to the dog? And then they're like, we're on vacation. He's at a pet kennel. I said, what?
Oh my God.
I said, thank God, man, because I wouldn't have fed him. He would have been in the garage the entire That's
so funny.
You know, I was just worried that I was breaking a law or something.
Yeah,
of some sort. I
yeah.
didn't want to do that. And I was like, yeah.
That's so funny.
It's so stupid, though.
God. Wow. So they didn't tell you. They just left.
Yeah, they just took off.
They're like,
yeah. Because I'm usually busy with a lot of things. And,
that's true.
You know.
Where do they live? Are they close by?
No. Well, I mean, we all live in the same house. We don't live close by, but we all live in the same that's how you know we're Latino, because we all
I'm like,
I live with my nephew too. Like, why? He's he's my sister's kid.
Yeah, there's always like 5 families.
Yeah,
in one
exactly.
house,
like more like multiple generations in one household.
It's just like, we have a house.
Yeah,
like, what are we gonna do? Get another one?
Yeah, exactly. And then they do, and they build another house in the back.
It's always in the back.
Yeah, hey, your Thea, she lives in the back, dude. Yeah,
and you're just like, there wasn't anywhere else. Okay,
yeah. Right, and you're like, dude, what about grandma? Oh, she's in the back too. And I'm like, oh my God. What about air conditioning? They're like, it's in the back now too. I'm like, oh my God, okay.
I live with my boyfriend right now, and they split up their house, and like they're Latino as well. And straight up, there are 2 kitchens in this house. It's technically all one house, but there are 2 kitchens, and it's completely 2 different. Like, we're in the front house, and they're in the back house, and it's just like, okay, it's fine. It's cool. It's like,
that's how a lot of my cousins' houses are. I mean, our house isn't like that because we live so far where we're actually able to all have a big house under one roof, but that's why we live far. We don't live in LA, you know?
No, that makes sense.
I like to joke around where I say I'm the only LA comic that lives 90 miles away from LA.
Girl, let me tell you, my family's in Orange County, and I drove for years. I was driving to LA every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And I would just spend all my time out here. I was probably at my most productive, because then once I finally moved out here, I was like, oh shit, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
I can go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I would just stay out here for hours, and then I'm like, wait until the traffic dies, and then I'm like, all right, it's 10 p.m.
Yeah,
no
that's
traffic.
usually how. Well, I mean, I like rotate my work schedule around here because I work out here. I work out in LA, so I rotate all of everything that I have to do. I do it out here, and then I go home, and I literally go home just to sleep.
Yeah. No, I so feel that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's really crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. And some people are like, God damn, you know, you gotta hustle.
Yeah, exactly. You're hustling.
Yeah. It's a really weird thing. I mean, speaking of mental health, you know.
I know.
You know, you got it. How do I get the 8 hours of sleep? I get it in between driving. I close one eye.
Girl, when I used to be in a band, I drove from Irvine to Simi Valley.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Irvine to Simi Valley.
Yeah.
About once a week for band rehearsal, because like everyone else in the band was living in like Thousand Oaks or Simi Valley.
Of course they were.
They were all there, and then I was the one, but I'm like the lead singer, so I have to be there. So I got in a car accident once. It was like literally, and it was just like a little fender
still
bender.
in Orange County though too?
No, I had made it all the way, and I was like on the 101, like close to Woodland Hills.
Oh,
like I was almost there, man. And I closed I fell asleep. I like was so tired, and thank God, like it was like bumper to bumper traffic, because that's what killed me. It was just like just standing there, sitting there, like, oh my gosh. And I just like, thankfully it was just like a fender bender. It was like just I tapped the car in front of me, but I was just like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
I have some techniques to like keep me awake.
Oh yeah. What are your techniques?
I mean, when it's so funny that I could easily fall asleep while I'm driving, but while I'm at home and I'm trying to fall asleep in my bed, that doesn't happen. I'm like, why? I need to hear traffic. I need to hear an ambulance and then a helicopter fly over for me to go to sleep.
I need a steering wheel right in front of me for me to really get cozy.
I basically need trauma to put me to sleep.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
I legitimately do. I have a noise machine, like a sound machine.
Oh my God.
And I notice while I'm driving that when I'm driving in the rain, I get even more relaxed. I'm like, why?
Oh my gosh. That's so well. Thankfully, it doesn't rain much here.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. But when it was raining, it was I'm like, how?
You're like, I'm just gonna fall
asleep. I feel like a baby. I'm in my crib. I'm gonna fall asleep. You know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, yeah. That's another reason why I carry those guys, because yeah. So in between work, I might take a nap in my car.
You like bring your own pillow. I love this. This is so genius.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I gonna start collecting?
Yeah, I think you will.
I think I'm about to.
Dude, I do it to everybody.
Oh my God.
It happens to everyone.
Like, is there crack in this? Like, there's just
it's squish.
It's so squishy.
Yeah.
Like, what are you?
It's beautiful.
Oh, I'm gonna call you In and Out.
Yeah, you're gonna call him In and Out. Oh my God, no.
Oh my God, I cannot. I am so sorry about these mics.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's just we're just running through.
Anyway,
yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So what are like certain things? I mean, have you in terms of like therapy, like what are certain things that have you ever been on medication for your?
No, and I really do have to. I'm not. I grew up with parents who were very much anti-medication. Mm-hmm. My brother has, I think, ADHD, but definitely is on the spectrum. I think he's more on the autistic side of things, but he's never been formally like diagnosed, so we don't really know. But he's been in like plenty of therapists, and ever since he was a kid, and they were like, Ritalin City, baby. Like, let's pump this kid with Ritalin. Like, they were, and my parents were very much just like, I don't want to medicate our kid. So that made sense like when he was a kid. But then that went on into when we were like teenagers and adults, where I think medication would have been helpful. I think I see medication as a tool, not an end all be all. Like, I did it.
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't fix anything.
Yeah, and I feel like for a while, I think, especially when I first learned I had ADHD, I think I was very much just like, I just would love something to just give me. The thing I struggle the most with is that like executive function, time
helping you focus,
like all just the things of just like, it's not even focusing, it's just like I have this weird thing where I'm like, I can't do things. That makes no sense. I don't know. I just get like paralyzed with either like indecision or paralyzed with fear. And it's not even like a fear of like, I'm so scared, like social anxiety necessarily. It's just more of like, there's so much to do and I get so overwhelmed that I just curl up into a cocoon and do nothing, and then I fuck myself over even more by not doing not even one of the million things I have to do until it's too late. Either it's too late or it's right down to the wire and I have to do it. And I remember in high school they used to call that procrastination, but it's it's a little bit different than that. It's a little bit different. And I remember I was just like, why? Like I always growing up, like I don't want to procrastinate.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like, I'll leave it for later.
But it's not a procrastination though. It's I understand what you're saying. I don't really like, I'm trying to put like what the difference is right now. Procrastination is more for like people who have a clear list of what they're trying to achieve.
Yes.
As opposed to like, I think what it is that you have all these multiple different things and then you're like, well, where do I start?
Yes,
you know?
It's that starting.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me. And especially when I know it's a big project and I know there's so many moving pieces, it's hard to be like, well, like the way my brain works is like, okay, well, let's say like I have to clean my room, right? Okay, well, I need to move my things from the table, but when I move it to the place where it's supposed to be, there's already stuff on there. So I have to move that first. And then I'm going to go and move that where it's supposed to be. But then there's already stuff on there and like, oh my gosh, there's something like missing on this. Oh my gosh, there's that thing that I've been looking for forever. Let me go put that where it is. Wait, but like, oh my gosh, now this thing.
Okay,
like, so
I get what you're saying. It's like a domino effect of like,
it ends up being like one problem, and then it's like
it reveals another problem and another problem and another problem.
And then in the end, you're just like, I can't do this.
Yeah, and then you just give up altogether.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just keep moving from task to task to task, and in the end, I have a complete breakdown because I just try to move some books. It's that sort of thing where it's just like you don't realize.
So you see like the little spider web map, and then but in your mind you're having a crisis.
Yes.
And then you're like, why? And then people don't see what's going on in your mind. They just see you breaking down, and
they're just like,
why
just
you,
move the books.
Yeah, they're like, why are you crying? Because the books are
like in the wrong place. Like,
yes, yeah.
Just like you could just put the books where it's supposed to go.
You're like losing your shit for that reason. Yeah.
And like, so I've tried to implement systems in place, especially because I live with my partner, and so he's been really good about learning. Like, he's so sweet. Like, he's like learning how to deal with a person with ADHD, and he's always like looking up TikToks about like, what can I do to make your life easier, like, you know.
Oh, wow, that's a good guy.
I know.
What?
He's great. And and we've implemented like systems, and like for me it's like things where it's just like everything has to be in a clear bin so I can see it, because with ADHD it's very like, you know, the term out of sight, out of mind. Like it is, I don't know if that applies to like schizophrenia as well, but like if I don't see something, it does not exist. Like object permanence is not a thing essentially. Like I know it's there, I know it's, but after it's gone, after a while, it's in some ether. Like I'm just like, I can't think about it. It's just not real to me. And unless I'm seeing it every day and I see it in front of me and I can see it, then I'm like, okay, great, it exists. So clear bins for storage are like very, very optimal. And then just baskets, like drawers are like my nemesis.
So organization helps.
Like I have to put, like I have to think of things differently. Like look at a closet, right? You know, put t-shirts or underwear or whatever in like a drawer, and I have like these drawers, right? But for me, out of sight, out of mind, and drawers can create like a whole mess of things. So what works better for me is if I have these like you know, those like little cube storage boxes, like, I have one for like every little thing. Like I just need to be able to have a thing in each place.
So compartmentalization is not something that you're able to do naturally.
Like I can, but it's more of just like
it's hard.
It gets lost in the mess. And versus like if I have like if I had to organize these squishmallows, like I'd have to like know where. Like I would have to have a very specific place. I can't just have them like in the closet, because then I'll never see like these small ones again. And they just they're gone. Bye guys. Like they're
no.
Yeah, I know. And it would be so sad. Versus like I would have to put them in like a specific, like we have our big ones and then we have our small ones and then we have our keychains, and like I need to have like very specific thoughts like in systems and organization for me to like function as a human being, which is very annoying.
No, I get that. I get that. No, I naturally organize things, and I think that's what drives me nuts is because, you know, it's like everything is systemic for me in my head. So I would probably, if you want
so we're not going to be roommates.
No. What I'm saying is, if you want someone to organize your life, you'd want me to do that. Like I'm
gonna hit you up. Yeah, like I'm gonna hit you up and be like, can you figure this out?
Because no, the funny thing is that you'll say, oh, I don't know how it is for you. My room, everything is organized, like you like scary organized, scary organized.
Yeah.
There's only certain things, like things that I use on a regular basis that I keep around. But if it's not organized, then I lose my shit. And I've been doing that since I was a kid. Like when I used to tell when people would go into my room, because I can tell when things have been moved.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a useful superpower, but like
like I would be
like
able to remember because I position things in a certain way. Yeah, and I used to get in a lot of fights with my sisters because of that, and I'd be like, I know you went in there because you moved it, you know?
Oh, I bet that was really hard. How many siblings do you have?
I got 2 sisters.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
the middle child.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, you're like, I could
so
see. Yeah, no, I don't think I was as neglected like people say. I never knew what that meant.
I think every middle child I've met is such a people pleaser, and I don't know if that's you.
Kind of. Well, I have people pleasing tendencies because my mom is, really. I mean, I don't want to say narcissistic, but she has a lot of narcissistic tendencies.
So does mine.
Yeah, and I used to call her. There's a better word because I don't think she's been diagnosed as that, but she's a fastidious individual. Difficult to please, a very difficult person to please.
Yes.
Like she's got standards that I don't even think she meets, and that's what pisses her off.
100%. Yeah. No, and I think, do we have the same mom?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't even know how much of that is like. I noticed that a lot with like either Latino parents or specifically like Gen
immigrant
Xers
parents.
Immigrant parents, where there's just so much pressure and expectation, and it's so much guilt because it's like, if we
came to this country for you to they guilt us into that.
Oh my God.
We smuggled it,
no,
whatever.
I like growing up, I realized like I'm still dealing with that of like, I'm not ever going to be able to please my parents. Like, I will never. I have to accept that I will never. But sometimes I'm still just like, but maybe if I do this, or maybe if I get rich enough, if I get famous enough, if I get rich enough and whatever, I'll be like, see, it was worth it. Like,
oh no,
like that shit gets in your head.
The my people pleasing went away when I started getting put in hospitals, and then I was like, you know what? Yeah, because then I started saying fuck you, because my mental illness was like, fuck the rest of the world. You need to take care of this.
Okay. Like when you say like I need to take care of this, like was it like you realizing you had to put your mental health first?
Yeah, because I was going in and out of hospitals like crazy, and I didn't even know how I managed to get like my education doing that, because I was going in and out, and I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't like fully complete like going to, because I got accepted in this medical program, and,
oh my God,
and I never fully went through it because I was like, you're not gonna make it, and I knew it in my head, and the fact that I knew it, my mom didn't accept that, and she was like, "Oh, you're a fucking failure," and this and this and that, and I was like,
or whatever.
Yes, I'm
like,
lazy.
It's just college; everyone can do it.
Yeah. And then she always had like these standards where I remember when I graduated, and then she was like, "Oh," and because my grandma cried.
Oh,
my grandma cried.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. But she didn't. And I was like, bitch, fuck. I was like, yeah. Bitch. I was like, why the fuck you not crying?
This is an important moment.
Yeah, exactly. I said, why the fuck you not crying? And then she was like, because I know I'm going to go to more. And I was like,
bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah.
The way my mom didn't, thank God she wasn't as harsh as that.
Yeah.
But I remember during my high school graduation, I made it a big deal, and she was just like, yeah, but like this is just like practice for college, and I was like, surprise, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. You know what I like to tell her shit like that when I'm dating a guy. I was like, this is just practice, mom. She's like, what?
Oh my God, my mom, I have not had my partner meet my family yet. Like, we don't.
Oh, so it's one of those. You keep them. Okay.
We don't. But I've done that with almost every relationship.
Really?
I'm like, they don't need to.
Yeah.
Like I try to keep my life separate from theirs.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't need to know anything about my stand-up. You don't need to know anything about like my life, career. Like, you're just gonna harsh my vibes, dude.
Yeah.
I'm the happiest person I know in my family, like,
because you stay away from them.
So I'm like,
no.
So it's just like easier that way. But it's but I just recently, I just told my mom I even had a boyfriend. Mind you, we've like low-key been dating for 4 years. I just told her, and I decided I'm gonna go in like low expectation. I was like, Mom, you're gonna hate him.
Oh my God.
I was like,
him as that?
you're going to hate him. He's everything you don't like. You're going to be like, oh my God, he's the worst. And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm just going to go in with like super low expectations.
Oh my God.
Isn't that
that's
so fucked?
funny. No, you're like, you're breadcrumbing your mom.
I have to literally breadcrumb and gaslight my mom into her treating my life with any kind of respect.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at what we have to do.
it sucks.
You know?
I know. And I've already told my partner, like my partner's like so fucking nice about it. I was just like, yeah, don't go into this thinking you're gonna like please my parents.
Yeah, no,
that's not the goal.
Yeah, I mean, they'll find if they don't like him instantly, they'll find anything to nitpick
he
at
can
him.
Be like the hottest person, he could be the richest person, he can be the best person, whatever. They're gonna be like, well, did you see like how he held his fork?
Yeah, or
it was weird. It was weird.
You know, if he's a hot guy, did you see how big his forehead is? Like, dude, what? Why? Out of all things, like, why? I mean, his forehead is beautiful. You know, leave him alone.
It's like he's literally so hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
It's so yeah. So I have to literally. I'm like just going and being like, he's so ugly. Like I'm just going in with like, stop. He's so ugly and just terrible, and you're gonna.
That's
hate
a
him.
good technique, you know, to
we'll
give
see if it works.
to like, and then let's see it. Like,
and then when they
like,
meet,
it's like reverse psychology for them.
Second.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna be like this hideous monster.
Yeah. It's like reverse psychology for them, you know, like because they raise us that way. They're like, yeah.
Isn't that so?
Yeah, and then you got to do that to your parents.
To our parents.
That's funny.
I'm like, please, do you think I want to do this? Do you think I want to be like?
Yeah, but you know what? We got to play Jedi mind tricks with these motherfuckers,
straight
dude.
Up,
Hell
straight
yeah.
up. It's so crazy, and I'm just like,
yeah, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know we learned from them.
I know. It's so fucked up.
No, that's a good technique. I forgot all about that. Yeah, that's
Do you bring your like potential partners and whoever, like, do you bring them?
I don't have any.
Okay, but like, have you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't think they last long enough, you know. So
that's true. No, and look, I'm a big fan of taking your time, like especially with like parents like ours. Like it's just like, you know what? Let me make sure about this before. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, it took so long for me to, because I was so precious about it. I get so precious about it because I'm like, we're in like a happy bubble, and then the moment parents and like people know,
and then they start touching it and ruining it. Yeah,
and
they fuck up the ecosystem.
Yes, and it was just like, it was a beautiful utopia until
and then exactly,
and then all the
pressure from them for you to perform in your relationship. You're like, dude, I'm fucking him, not you. Like, why are you guys here? You know?
And then let's say they do like him, and now it's like, well, when's the wedding? Well, when are you gonna have kids?
Yeah.
Well, so it's like you can never.
And then if something doesn't work out, you know, and then you're like,
we'll never forget it.
Yeah.
They remember,
and they're like, why did you fuck it up with so and so?
Or they're like, oh, why are you so like? You should have never dated him. That person sucked. And I'm like, oh my God,
that's funny.
Yeah, no, and please, my family remembers my boyfriends better than I do. They're like, do you remember that one guy? And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that's right. I did date him.
Oh, my God.
Out of sight, out of mind. It applies to people.
Oh, my God. That's
like
like,
oh, shit.
That's like bringing up trauma. Hey, do you remember that time I slapped you across the face? Like, dang, dude,
oh my God.
Why are you trying to remind me of something I'm trying to fucking forget, dude? You know, like, no.
It's so fucked up. I know. So, yeah.
No, I mean, has your ADHD affected obviously it has affected your relationship.
I mean, it has. It's interesting, like, so bringing up like the out of sight, out of mind thing.
Yeah.
I think that's why it helped. Speaking of like compartmentalizing, like maybe when it comes to organizing my life, it's not so great, but like I can compartmentalize like a motherfucker. Probably to an unhealthy amount. Probably like therapists watching this are like, oh, she's fucked. But
I don't know if we have any watching.
They will.
I'm sure if they watch mine, they're gonna be like, Carissa, why? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did mention this to my therapist, and
Stop,
he's
really?
yes, and he's like, okay, he's all like, yeah,
You do that.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
He's like, whatever makes you feel better.
Look,
I'm like, yep.
my best friend is a therapist. Like, she is like a full blown therapist, but like we are friends, so she doesn't like therapize me or anything. Like, if anything, I'm her therapist, because therapists need therapists too.
Yeah, they do, or they need someone to vent,
Right,
the shit
right.
talking. Yeah,
And it's so funny. Like, just sometimes I'll just like say things like she'll sneakily therapize me, or like she'll like sneakily like, and I'm just like, wait, I see what you're doing. It's so funny. But anyway, so speaking of like compartmentalizing,
yeah.
When I was single, it was very easy for me to just be like, and this is sex, and this is dating, and this is love, and like, you know that like 90s Sex and the City trope of like, what if you like women fucked like men? Like, that was me. I was like full blown like, I don't care. We are having this transaction. Great. It was great. Awesome. Moving
Bye.
on. Right. And then these guys would then be emotionally invested after a while, and then I had to be like, wait, like, why do you care? And like, because for me, the moment I put you out of
sight, out
of mind, it applied to people, and I always thought, I was like, oh man, am I heartless? Am I crazy? Like, what? That turns out just ADHD. But I think that might be something that applies. Now, I don't know if that's applicable to like everyone who's been diagnosed. This is just for me, but I just found that it was easier for me to just be like, yeah, this is how I treat dating. Like, I'm not, until I am interested in being in a relationship with you, like, bye. Like,
yeah.
I forgot you existed. I literally.
That's funny.
So it's so interesting seeing like how ADHD affected that part. And then now that I'm in a relationship, it's more of like since we live together, and I have to force myself through any like uncomfortable bits of executive function, like, because if not, it can get really like it can get really tricky, because then if I'm not careful, if I'm not on my shit, then he ends up doing a lot of like the housework or the chores or whatever, or cleaning up after me because I'm too messy. And so that's been something I've been kind of working on, is like making sure that he's not stuck with me,
or making
ADHD.
You feel like a caregiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad because like he does most of like the housework, but I have to remember that, like, because like if I lived by myself, I would just let it be. Yeah, I would let it be fucking terrible until it got too gross, and then I had to like clean it up again.
Yeah.
But he's more like you, where he's like very much needs things to be organized and clean and stuff. And so that's been something where I'm like actively always working on. It's just like, he washed the dishes yesterday. You, no matter how much you fucking hate this and you just want to lie in bed and just, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You have to, like, just wash the dishes, like, just do it.
Yeah.
Do it ugly.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, wash the dishes just ugly. I mean, it doesn't matter. They get it. It gets done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that I'm working on.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's always been something very difficult for me, because when I tell guys that I have schizophrenia, they're like very, like they're curious, at the same time, but then another part of them is like, no, I don't want to get involved with this. I don't know what that means.
I feel like there's a lot of stigma. Like, a lot of people do not know. And I'm going to be honest, I'm one of them. Like, I feel like I know some of what the diagnosis means, but it's like, it
usually just means that I need for the person to be direct, and like, you got to tell me what's going on in your mind at the time. Like, even like you have to communicate your feelings, because there's sometimes I won't pick up on things like in a very literal way.
Yes. Like, I feel disappointed by the thing that you did.
Yes. Okay. And you have to, and there's guys that will be afraid to say that. Yes. I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to say thank you for telling me, because now I'm more aware.
The way a straight man hates to be the bad guy while actively being the bad guy. The way they have a pathological need to be the good guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, like, it's hard for people to, like, be direct, because then they're like, but I'm being so mean, or I'm gonna hurt their feelings. No,
yeah. And I think that's why people don't understand. They think I'm a bitch, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm telling you how I would want you to talk to me. Like, you know, I don't want any of this other stuff to get lost.
The social nicety.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not, seriously, I recently learned how to introduce myself.
Ooh, okay. What's your introduction? Let's practice.
I mean,
okay.
Hi.
All right. Hi, I'm Genesis. Nice to meet you.
You know, ordinarily I would look at people and walk away, but
yeah, that's literally the opposite of introducing yourself. That is literally
I would literally stare at you and be like, and then I'd walk away, you know? And then they'd be like, well, what's wrong with her?
Not even you didn't introduce anything.
Yeah, exactly. I legitimately learned, and this was because of comedy.
I love that.
And then every time people would be like, don't you have a name? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, what is it? And I'm like, it's Carissa. And they're like, okay.
But don't you have a name? I do.
Yeah. Everyone is. Yeah, everyone has a name.
Why do you want to know?
Yeah, exactly. I would get all defensive, like, who's asking?
Why?
Yeah, who? You know, I would, and then I was like, well, you don't need to do that. You know.
So
yeah.
Okay, so now when I introduce myself, okay, hi, I'm Genesis. Nice to meet you.
And I still get weird. I'm like,
we're doing it.
Yeah. My name is Carissa. Yes.
That was good.
Oh, it's because I've been lifting weights. You know.
I love that. That was a very firm. I was like, I felt a lot of trust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, because I learned how to do that just now. You know?
Look, practice makes perfect. Like, God bless my brother. Like, he is similar. He cannot. Be a person. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's funny how like. Sometimes things like autism is very similar to schizophrenia. Yeah. So like certain things, you know, we're just a little bit more social, but we like, you know.
Yes. Yeah. And like and it's so funny because he keeps choosing professions that are social.
Oh God.
And I'm like, and then he's like, why am I bad at this? And I'm like, baby. Like, it's like if a fish kept applying like to jobs that included flying, like it's like
it's a challenge.
You're not gonna be bad. You're not gonna be good at it. Like,
it's a challenge. I mean, I do the same thing too.
I know.
I do the same thing, and
But like at least like I feel like with comedy, out of most like entertainment things or like social things, I feel like can be very like it is the most like isolating, or at least like the most individual of like most entertainment. So it's like it's kind of like perfect for you, like
kind of I don't know, it is and it isn't, you know. But versus my brother trying to be a realtor, I'm like, bro, you literally have to talk to people and sell people things. That's funny. Yeah. No, I don't think I could do that. No, I've had to learn how to do things with my particular brain chemistry.
Like, I'm not gonna try to be an accountant. Numbers scare me. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I know. So I think it's just working towards your strengths.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I mean, we got to do what we got to do for our mental health. You know. Well, Genesis, this has been a really great interview.
I don't know what this was, but I loved every moment of it.
It was an ADHD experience. It was a mixture of chemistry and fireworks.
I loved it. There was squishmallows. We learned how to handshake.
I talked about why I don't know how to introduce my name. And I usually tell people I don't know my name because I don't use it. It's like my phone number. I don't use it often, so I don't know, and my mom doesn't even call me by that, she calls me something else. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't want to tell y'all that other name she calls me.
Someone will sack you and murder you. We don't want that.
Exactly. No, I mean, it's pretty, like pendeja, like that.
Not your nickname.
Yeah,
being
yeah.
pendeja. Okay.
Como chingas, like that. I'm like, Mom, that's not how it is. But regardless of what we're going through, we just got to remember, right, that it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, this concludes this episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful rest of your, I don't know, day.
Or night.
Yeah. Or, lunch, breakfast, sandwich.
Timeless void. Wherever you are.
Workout.
You're good.
I'm glad you guys are listening. Thank you.
Bye.